Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm on leechess.org and just got paired up with Mr. Aman Hamilton. I am Gosu. Okay, let's try Nimzo-Indian. And let's try a dark square strategy. D6 and E5. Going with the classical, Queen C2. I think we could go straight in for E5. Yeah, let's play E5 right now. If push, I have to take first. Otherwise, knight here, Queen A4 hits with the fork. Knight B8 to D7. I think so. Heading for C5. Yeah, let's do that. They could get this move in because they have pressure on E5. They only need one piece on it. So his delay with this next move tells me that my move was maybe a bit off. Okay. Bishop G4 and then knight here. Maybe. No, let's go straight in for this. Looking for A5, just to kind of halt the queenside expansion. The pawn break I'll be looking to get in is F5. So let's see. Let's start with this. Now it'll take a little bit more time. I thought maybe B4 instead of bishop to E2. Okay, so they're gonna have to go about it that way. So actually, suppose I do this. Yeah, let's do that right now, actually. Knight to D2 incoming. And maybe... Let me do this move, provoke F3. And then drop back. And then maybe I could look for knight H5 into F4. So let's go here, keep them developed. And... Yeah, let's go in for this, knight F4. If G3, maybe bishop H3. This should be a little bit inconvenient. By inducing this, it enables knight H5. I'm considering on B4 maybe knight to A6. Also, I'm in a position to play F5. Maybe queen here. They don't have the dark square bishop on this natural diagonal. I feel pretty good about my position. F5 sitting pretty quick. Connected with this knight on C5, which is only temporary, granted. He will be kicked in short order with B3. I'm not sure what candidate moves there are. Even on B4, I can consider knight here right away. Rook here is maybe something they're considering. Rook F2 seems a little awkward. Okay, knight here or F4? I kind of like F4 first. Queen G5 is another idea. F5 B4. Actually, I'm not fearing B4. I'm going to keep some flexibility with my knight. I don't want to run in here right away. On B4, I have knight here, and I get the dark square bishop. Probably should have noticed that sooner. I'm even considering something like f4 knight g3. Okay, do I not get that dark square bishop? Okay, let's try this. Also, their diagonal is open, so maybe stuff like this is an idea. They could go ahead and grab the pawn. I think they should. Or maybe c5, actually. c5 is maybe strong. On c5, I can consider queen here first, threatening to pick up the bishop. But I think bishop here covers everything. This has to be a little bit awkward, having the rook come off the f-file, because I could take and have the f-file open up. Suppose I just play this move. I'm going to do that. I shouldn't take him right away. A bit happy to see that, actually. Alright, let's be active with my queen. Can't be bad, right? Where else is she going to go? They're going to get in c5, but I'll have play on the a-file. On push, I'll be sure to take here and then take on b4. This is a future target on d6. I'm actually ahead on the clock. I wouldn't have expected that. Okay, increasing the pressure here. Maybe knight here right now? No, let's get the a-file first. Take. Let's take here first. I feel like I should have something here. Definitely. What about rook a3? There's definitely a tactic here. Let's start with this. Their knight's out of play, their bishop's passive, rook's passive. Okay, queen there. That's a concession. Okay. Let's put pressure on that pawn. Rook a3. Knight here should be strong now. Maybe I should have done rook a3 a little sooner. Okay, let's do this. Their knight's pinned. Bishop a4. Double up on the a-file. Knight here. Okay. Let's do this. Pressure here. Let's keep my rooks active. Let's trade one. Enter. Enter with the bishop. Pin the knight, and then play here next. I think I'm winning now. Rook takes knight. Okay, is there something quicker? Let's take here and get my bishop before he's trapped. Let's take, push. Let's go here. Can I get some material here? My bishop's in an ideal spot. This should be a win. It's got to go fast. Just no stalemates. And then we should have it. Oof. Was not expecting that to be ahead on the clock like that. Okay, let me go back into it. The analysis. I think I missed some tactic. Let me see. Do I have this on? Okay. Yeah, I feel like I missed some tactic, and maybe, hang on, before I even go over it with the computer arrows, let me, yeah, I think right around this point here, after I played knight to b8, I think that was off. No, maybe not so much. I think this is the right idea, but I wonder, my point here is that I'm wondering some about maybe, oh, what just happened? Okay, yeah, the analysis just came up. I'm wondering some about c5. Because in the game, I mean, a lot of time is invested in playing c5, and I think that it could hit just right now. Well, I guess no matter where I go with the knight, this is a possibility. I don't know. Just trying to break down the dark squares, bring him to life. So, and this is one other point. Maybe instead of bishop to e2, I wonder about b4. Sometimes the drawback with b4 is, you know, you could play a5, but when b4 is played here, the bishop defends the rook. So, yeah. I'm not sure. Knight b to d7, I think b4. Because if b4 isn't played now, then this b4 idea has to come at a snail's pace with b3, a3, and then b4. And that's a lot of tempi. So, I think maybe in the end, white can save a move if they're playing b4 at this moment instead of bishop to e2. And I don't think that this is something I could take advantage of. You know, these two moves. The difference between the two, I think white could very easily do this. Bishop e2, a5. Yeah, and this is the point. I mean, if you're going with a3, they're never getting in c5 because I could play a4. Knight c5, and there's no b4. There's no b4 because I could take. So, okay. Once we got to this point, I felt pretty comfortable, and I think that this is an important move. Bishop g4, inducing f3, and this permits knight h5, which is desirable because there's only one active plan I have in this position, and that's the f5 break. So I just retreat, stay developed, and then start focusing on these dark squares. Queen g5, knight f4, these are very active posts. So this is quite natural, and I mean, it seemed perfectly sensible to me. This is a popular reorganization of the pieces to have the rook here and the bishop basically negate the knight for when he arrives on f4. It may even be the case that the king will have to spend, white will have to spend an additional move to play king h1. And the knight's on f4 and the queen's here. Knight's on f4 and the queen's on g5. There's knight h3 threatened. There was even one point in the game where there was the possibility for a perpetual. Well, a perpetual idea, I believe, is present with the knight on f4 and the queen on g5, with knight check, king h1, and then knight f2, just bouncing back and forth on these two squares. So yeah, I'm feeling really comfortable here because I have the f5 break-in. And yeah, I didn't notice this until a little while. It took some time for me to realize that I had this idea, which is quite useful to keep in mind connected with the bishop on d7. Normally this knight will have to run in reverse, but not the case here. He could actually move forward and I hunt down that dark square bishop. Which is their better of the two bishops? Yeah, and I wonder maybe at this moment, they played b4, I played knight there. Maybe this is the moment where they should take. And then, well, I don't know. I think I would play this because I'm threatening this for the moment. Bishop there, and here's the example I was pointing out earlier. A knight on f4. This is a threat to at least draw something like this. But I don't know. I'm not sure what the computer will be suggesting around here. Let me see what the graph is saying. Okay. I don't know if this is like a typical advantage for white due to the space advantage. To rook a to c1. Yeah, it's kind of tough. Because I have really active pieces right about here. Let me put on the engine. Right around here. If we do piece comparison. Let me put the arrows up too. Oh. I missed that they had that move. I think we both missed that. After rook a to c1, they're threatening to tuck the bishop away. Played queen here, and then they played the knight there. Ah, we both missed this idea. They can maintain that dark square bishop. And then maybe do this, and then c5, and it's a much different game. Because one way to look at this knight on a5, if he's not making that capture of the bishop, this rook is kind of, he's not going to come to life. You know, he's going to have to move before the rook has any activity on the white side of the board. So, b6, okay, c1, yeah, and it's right around here where when you do a piece comparison, all these pieces are really good that I have both rooks on completely open files compared to these guys. Strong queen post, bishop. And this isn't hitting fast enough. So right around here I was saying that I thought I had some tactic, but I guess not. It's saying just a pawn advantage with knight to f6. I don't know. It seems more active. Okay, knight f4. Yeah. It's tough to defend now. I mean, what other than, okay, suppose king h1 instead of queen g3, because that's clearly a concession. Doubled pawns, but it's more than that. It's giving up the g4 square. So suppose king h1 here. Rook a2, rook c2, takes, knight here. Yeah, he's just too strong of a piece. This isn't a winning advantage, but he's certainly comfortable. Okay, how did this play out? I was quite happy with how the endgame played out here. Just getting my pieces active, and that c5 move just never came. So what that basically means is I didn't have to babysit any pawn, because given time, you know, if I'm making nothing moves, c5 hits, takes, let's just do another nothing move, takes. In the end, there's finally some target for white to bite at. And you could very easily see this knight sweeping in to c4. And then what happens? It's me who's on the defensive if black is quick to apply pressure here. And if I'm having to defend these pieces, then, or if I'm having to defend my pawn, my pieces can't really be pieces and do some aggressive things, you know. So let me go back to just for a moment in the middle game, see if there were some adjustments here. Okay, it's suggesting knight to e7, but this has to be a line as well. Oh, and this is the move I wanted to look at. Back to basics, huh? You can't play c5 right away because a knight takes d5. Okay. So after e4, knight here, okay. Alright. Okay, well now it is pointing out b4, so yeah. So I guess that's a... Oh, I don't know how big of an improvement, but I believe it saves one tempo. Maybe more. I don't know. Playing b4 right away. Because in the game, what did he do? He went b3. The pawn's journey was b3 and then b4. So I guess you could get this in and should get it in. It's even suggesting this, but now a3. 2 moves to acquire this instead of 3. I don't know. Just a small little timing detail. And yeah, it likes bishop g4. Bishop back. Okay. With f5. Yeah, I don't know. Tough game. Tight game. Against a good player. Okay. As usual, feel free to leave any feedback to this video in the comment section below. And as usual, I hope you got something out of it. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.